clear, boys. Say along with us.
Hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. Smoke weed every day.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we are It's the world's most smoked out podcast. We love hip hop. All right, so we are back with our guest here.
Yes, we are.
We have a legend in the city here. Wow, I've been watching man's videos from time. Like there was I walked up in a studio
Early
one day.
millennium, at least.
Yeah, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I walked in the studio in the early 2000s, and a man gave me a CD, and I seen on the CD Alias. I forgot. It was like you're just standing, like just. It was just a full shot of you standing on the CD, and I was like, I put that shit in, and I was like, wow, everything was like so professionally sounding in such an early time, as well as the music being dope. I was like, this man has something, and then I just started seeing man on TV all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we took that picture at the DMX video shoot at the Skydome on a disposable camera. I remember which photo you're talking about.
You hear what the man said though? Disposable camera.
On a disposable camera. And I remember when I went to the place to print my CDs, I only had like a couple of pictures to pick from, and when I presented it to them, they were just like, you got anything better? Like, you have no more pictures you could come? You sure you don't want to come back and holler back with a better picture? I was just like, no. Because I know if I leave here right now, I'm not going to come back probably till, who knows, another year, another 2 years. Sure. Procrastination, hell of a thing. So I was just like, nah, work with it, you know?
Yeah.
So I went through with it. And then it also taught me another lesson, though, because I went through with it, and everybody was just like, yo, this CD's fire, but your cover, man.
You work, yeah.
And I was just like, I know, but, you know, I had to just get the ball rolling. Like, you know,
it's one of those situations.
It's like, Nike said it best.
Let's do it.
Just do it.
And that's been my motto when it comes to music. Like, I just do it. Everything I've done has been imperfect. You know what I mean? I there's flaws. I can find a flaw in every song I've ever released.
Okay.
There's a flaw in every video I've ever put out that I wouldn't mind changing. But I'm not into the procrastination and slowing down. I just throw it out there. You know what I mean? Because it's better to do it than not to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure. So, let's introduce our guest.
Yeah. For the people in listening land who don't know the voice, we have Alias Donmillion in the building, a.k.a. Millie Mafia in the building. You know what I'm saying? Okay, one thing I want to know, because you're here now, and like I seen you had that track "They Don't Want It" the other day, right? What inspires you to still make music as an OG in these times now?
To be honest, it's the people that come up to me when I'm on the road, and they see me in the clubs and in the parties, and I was just like, yo, your shit was fire. I love your music. I've been listening. Why you do it no more? I'm just like, I kind of do, I kind of don't. It's still a hobby to me, but it's people just keep coming up to me, and people always saying, yo, do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. And I also have this love and passion for music. Like, I don't do it as much as I used to, but every now and then it just calls me, and every now and then I want to express myself, and I feel like I want to say something. So I'm just quiet for a while, and then I feel like I want to say something. So I just release a track. Okay. This is how I'm feeling. Yeah, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
And then you might just see me fall back, and I just not come out for another year, maybe out of 2 years, and then you see, bam, a mixtape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just go with the vibe now.
Spontaneous.
Yeah, it's not my number one priority like it used to be. Like, I used to just eat, sleep. Everything was music, non-stop, right?
For sure.
Priorities change now, you know. Older now, you have family now, you have kids now.
For sure.
The music industry has changed now.
Oh, drastically.
So to me, it's not the best and the wisest investment. You know what I mean? So, but aside from that, it's just a passion that I've always had. You know, it's the only hobby I've always had that I never stopped doing.
Yeah.
You know, I used to think I was gonna be a professional skateboarder at one time. I used to skate hard. I used to play hockey.
Yeah.
I was into many things in my life that I picked up and stopped doing.
But music was just there.
Never stopped.
Yeah.
From breakdancing to making beats to doing graffiti to I had 1,200 techniques. I thought I was gonna be a DJ at one point. I was, you know what I mean,
going through
trying
the
to build a
elements.
reggae dance hall sound at one time. Like, music is something that just never left me alone. I always
music is
played
always
with it.
around.
And now that I don't really try to do the forefront thing anymore. I'm trying to do like the songwriting thing now. I want to get back into production and songwriting and behind the scenes thing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And even like with all the changes that are going on, the name change. Do you still use Alias, or is like now just Millie Mafia?
Well, you see what it was is that when the music thing started, and I submitted a song to the radio, and the radio was gonna play it, and they're like, "Okay, what's the name of the artist?" And I was just like, "Shoot." At the time, I think I used to use Alias because I had so many nicknames, and I used to just say, "Okay, my name's Alias," you know, full nickname. So I told the radio when I was submitting, I said Alias Donmillion, because Donmillion was like a label. It was a brand. It was our team. It was our crew.
Okay.
You know, so I just said, tell them Alias Donmillion, so people keep getting familiar with that name, Donmillion.
All right.
And then music started happening, things started going on, so the name kind of stuck to me more than it did to the squad.
Yeah.
They were just like, that's Donmillion.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were Donmillion.
Right. Because in the beginning, though, it was a label.
Yeah.
We had a whole bunch of us.
Okay.
There was 20 Below, OMP. They had songs on Much as well with Snow and whatever. We had a bunch of young cats in the hood coming up. If anybody was following the Mills movement at that time, like we were throwing out crazy CDs, like a lot of music we were putting out. We were one of the first guys giving out CDs for free.
Yeah.
When we used to walk up to people with CDs, they used to run and be like, no. We used to be like, it's free, bro. They'd be like, what? And they'd be like, give me 2, give me 5. And be like, no. You know, just hold 1, hold 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And like, all the men's, like, is that all from like the Don Mills area?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, tell us about, because I always ask people who come from different areas, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the people who watch from outside of Toronto. Tell us about the Don Mills strip, like, like the geography, like the different hoods on the strip.
Okay, well, I'm from up by the what they call north side of the Mills, right?
Yeah.
That's like Shepherd side, Fairview Mall side.
Okay.
Over there, you have Allenbury, you have Sparroways, you have Brahms, you have Villaways. We used to call it the Four Corners. It was like 4 hoods, sectioned off in one small area.
Yeah.
We used to come together. We used to link up. Then on the south side, you have Flemo. Flemo mans are there. But we were all the Mills. It was all one strip. You know what I mean? You could go from every hood, any hood you could bounce around because you were from one of them. You could basically go to all 4.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were pretty much welcome in Flemo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Flemo was welcome up top. And the Flemo, man, they kind of got the movement going for the Mills music. You know, with the GCP movement and all of that with JB and those guys. Shout out to them.
Alumni.
They kind of got the music going for the Mills. And then up on our side, it was Snow, because Snow grew up in the hood with us. So us seeing this guy now, you know what I mean? No racism, nothing, but this white boy from the hood, you know what I mean? He's doing his dirt. He's there. You know, he was an OG for us, hanging with the older guys, doing his thing. And we saw, like, it was amazing for us as kids to see this guy go from the hood to the Arsenio Hall show to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every car that drove by was playing his song. I remember sitting in the hood and he's like, yo, I got a song coming out called Informer with MC Shine. And he's like, Informer. He used to sing it to us. And we're kind of like, yo, this is going to be dope.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, Snow, they came around looking for you the other day. Word, bust it.
Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. I like keep on down. Take the man that says that I'm a snowman, stab somebody on the land. I like keep on down. Informer, you know, say that I'm a snowman, I go blam. I like keep on down.
And then to see it actually happen, that was like the light bulb for all of us. We're like, you can come from the hood and get out, and you can push your music. You can get somewhere.
Yeah.
If you're serious, it can happen. We look, it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Prime
So
example.
you know, that was for us.
And even like, just bringing up that nostalgia from back in the days. What do you think is the difference between back in the days on the Don Mills area and like now?
Well, all the hoods and neighborhoods in Toronto have changed drastically from what they used to be back in the days. You know what I mean? Like, they really went and cleaned up and fixed up the place, and you know what I mean? Nowadays, the hoods are much different than they used to be.
Yeah.
They still have their issues and their troubles, but I think they're getting better than they used to be, though. You know what I mean? A bit of a change, I think, for the better, you know?
Okay. And what made you get into music? Like, after, like, when you seen Snow and all, like, what was your first studio experience like, getting into the music? Like, that you
Well,
were like,
I was
do this?
always into music from day one. Even like with or without snow or whatever, I was always into music, even as a kid. Like,
Okay.
even in grade 4, I was playing drums for the school band.
Oh.
And I was in grade 4, and at that time you had to be in grade 6 to play the drums. Usually, because the school went up to grade 6, and when there were spring concerts and stuff, the grade 6ers play the drums.
Yeah.
But I was like the first grade 4 that they ever let play the drums because they seen my talent on the drums, and I've always loved music and whatever. I've been into music from time.
Yeah.
Just different aspects of music, you know what I mean? But it was always music, whether it was drumming, beat making, and whatever. But I grew up listening to reggae music in my house. That's how my dad used to play his reggae. And the OGs in the hood, they used to listen to reggae.
Okay.
So the same guys that Snow grew up around or whatever, they grew up doing reggae. They used to come out with the speakers and the microphone, hook it up in the hood, have black parties when... Actually, breakdancing was going on at the time too, but there wasn't too much open mic sessions at that time.
Yeah.
Mans were just breakdancing and whatever. But the
playing.
open mic sessions were the reggae man, them, the DJs, them, what they would call DJs, was a man, you know what I mean?
Classic.
Rapping in the mic, right? And I used to watch them in the hood, pass the microphone around, and all the guys would get their turn on the block, just going at it.
Okay.
So I started writing reggae music as a kid, you know?
Okay.
And I came up with a 1-2 reggae songs. Older man them on the block heard me do the track 1-2 times. So every time I would pass now, I remember they said like, yo, do the track, run the song. But them time I was mad shy. I'm like, no, man, you guys leave me alone. I'm like, yo, you ain't passing through this hallway unless you run the track, bro. Give him a beat, bro. And then it's like, all right, boom.
So
I run the track, and they're like, all right, go to school. You know what I mean?
Would you ever get back into reggae?
It was...
Would you do a reggae track right now?
Somewhat. Like I did one recently called Brace. It's probably online if you look it up. But I did it, but I wouldn't really do reggae seriously because my background's Jamaican and all that, but I don't have the authentic reggae accent, the Jamaican accent to do real dancehall reggae. And
the way you want to.
From me growing up, I'm just used to hearing raw, real reggae. And it sounds kind of corny to me when someone doesn't have the real authentic accent to do reggae. It sounds like
they're putting on an accent.
Yeah, so I'm like, I wouldn't really do it, but I would write it. And I would give it to someone else who has that hardcore accent still and say, you run that track for me.
Okay.
You run it. You know what I mean? I still love it. I love listening to it. I go to reggae dances all the time. You know, after anybody, they see me, I'm always in the dance them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I see on the gram, you'd be like, in
Always,
the stories
right?
in the dance, I'm like, holy, yo, I should go out more often.
Right? That's
You know
just
what
me
I'm
though.
saying?
I just live my life, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People tell me, yo, you gotta chill, you gotta fall back. Right? I'm like, for what, man? I'm just living my life. Like, you know what I mean? I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm just living. You know what? Like, what? I'm too old now. I gotta stop going out. I can't go to a party and shit.
No, there's events for all
You know what I'm
fucking
saying?
ages. Like people who, like, yo, the jam that I see you at, you're at like some jams where I'm hearing like,
some of those places, I'm the youngest one there. Yeah, like some of those places, real elders, you know what I mean? But I know it's a good vibes, no drama, you know? You can't hear a girl going on like a date, just one of the vibes, you know, it's no nonsense and you know what I mean? Yeah.
Enjoy yourself.
And I like to keep my music broad based. I don't like to just listen to what's on the radio. Because then every time you go to the studio, you're going to sound just like what's on the radio. You got to listen to different music to inspire your music so you sound different. You know what I mean? Like when I go in record mode and I know like, okay, next month I'm going to start working on a mixtape. I'm not trying to hear nothing that's out right now. I'll listen to rock, I'll listen to reggae, I'll listen to some other type of R&B, whatever. And then I'll come up with my creativity and see what I want to do. Like, even that song you just mentioned, They Don't Wanna. When I did that track, that song was inspired by old school reggae.
Yeah, like
I was driving listening to an old school reggae CD, and you know, if you hear the track when it goes, when I'm in the track and I'm going every day.
Rappers nowadays looking like they check dick. Ain't no loyalty, everybody on some snake shit. And I be out here rapping, steady trapping every day. Something gotta happen, man. I pray I find a way.
Like That's old school reggae stuff. That's how they used to sing and they used to do their style. So I'm driving one day and I heard it. I'm like, let me try to incorporate that into rap now. You know what I mean? So came up with a verse, came up with a melody. I said, I said, this sounds different. I said, it sounds weird, but I said, you know what? It sounds different.
But that's what's good.
And that's all I want, something different. Everybody, you know what I mean? Real artists want something different.
Yeah, you don't want to sound like the next person.
You want to come up with you know what I mean? So I said, bam, I'm going to go do this.
That's what's going on in this scene.
Man's like, yo, let me hear your new song. I'm like, no, I'm not letting nobody hear it. You're going to hear it when I release it, you know? I go to the studio by myself, record a whole mixtape. I don't let nobody hear one track. I go by myself. No one, they're like, yo, what do you work? Can we hear something? I'm like, no, you're going to hear it when I release it. Because I don't want nobody telling me nothing, trying to change my mind, trying to, you know what I mean? I'll take your constructive criticism when I'm done, and then maybe I'll apply that to my next project. But I'm not bringing 10 guys to the studio with me, so when I say something, one guy's like, no, you should say it like this. And then he's like, no, say it like that. No, like this, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I go by myself. I follow my heart and I follow my vision and stick to my mind. And that's just the hardest thing to do sometimes, is to stick to your own mind. People always want to change you, tell you, oh, do this, do that. No. As an artist, you just got to stick to your vision and just stay with it. You know what I mean? And just roll with it.
So true.
There's a question that comes to mind as well, and it's a question that one of our audience members had, a man named Sauce Man Wonder. So shout out to you. What was your favorite album growing up?
Oh, those questions are hard because there's so many. You mean from other artists?
Just your favorite album, like that you were like listening to, like you killed the tape, or you fucked up the CD, or you bought it and then bought it again because you fucking lost that one.
Definitely Nas and Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? Definitely Nas and Mobb Deep. Like, I can't even say which one, but you know what I mean? We had those tapes, we flipped it so much, the titles rubbed off. We just kept flipping it. We couldn't even read it no more, but you just knew
blank. That
was your tape. But there's too many to name. There's too many to name. I can't even just pick one. It'd be unfair, you know. I used to listen to a lot of Ghetto Boys, a lot of South music. I grew up listening to a lot of South. I listened to a lot of West Coast music. There was a part of hip hop. There was an era of hip hop that I didn't like. It was I think people call it the backpack era.
Okay.
And the Doc Martens and the backpack and I don't want to say the Nubian movement to make people think, oh, this guy has no conscience here, or this the Nubian thing. No, but there was just a movement I didn't like. So I was just listening to the whole South and the whole West Coast stuff. But it's too hard to name, to say what was it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bring back something we didn't do in a while, the name game. Okay. I'm going to bring up a name, and then you tell me the things that come to mind. Okay? Nia Singh.
Nia Singh. Nia Singh is like a prime example of everybody has their own choices to make in life. Everybody can make their own decisions. You know what I mean? And I always tell even younger cats and whoever, I'm like, you can't make excuses for your behavior. You can't say, my daddy was a gangster, my mom was, a crackhead, so I live my life like this. You know what I mean? Because that's bullshit. Because if you come from the hood, you will see that there's people who come up in the same environment as you, but they choose not to partake in certain activities that other people are doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Nia Singh now, he's like the golden boy story for that. Because he was amongst all of that. He's seen people around him that were caught up in that lifestyle. His mission was to try to change everybody from day one. He's been trying to change he was just a studio producer doing his thing. He was bailing guys out of jail, because he's never been in trouble in his life. He's always been on that positive road, you know what I mean? That positive path, straight and narrow. Yeah. And he, we became partners in the music industry. Like he became my manager, and I was an artist because I first started recording a lot of my music with him. So he became my manager because I had a lot of visions and ideas that I wanted to do with my music. I used to, when I used to study stuff and say, okay, how do I get a distribution deal? How do I get on the radio? How do I this and that? I realized that, okay, you kind of need a guy to represent you. You need a guy to go there for you. So when they used to shut me down and I started to link with Nia, I said, here what, Nia, you go after them now. You go tell them to do this. You go tell them to do that. So we would come up with plans and ideas, and then he would be the guy to go and execute them, you know, because they couldn't really shut him down and frowns on him the way they would want to try to shut me down and frowns on me because of my appearance or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. And
he's a lawyer now.
Yeah.
A certified lawyer now.
And he's
a
politician as well.
Yeah, he's doing a political thing. He became a certified lawyer now. So just to touch back on what I was saying, like, you have your own choices. You can create your own path and go your own lane, and Nia's a perfect example of that. You know what I mean? And he's not
That's blessed.
He's not just talking the talk and preaching it. He's leading by example.
Yeah.
Because you see what he's done, and that's how real leaders lead, by example.
Yeah.
And he's doing it. You know what I mean?
And even to bring it full circle, that studio that I walked in where I first discovered your CD, it was Nia's studio because I used to record with him.
Okay.
And he gave me your CD.
And that's right. I first became familiar with you also.
Yeah.
It's from Nia,
Yeah. Okay. There was a time and space where, like, when you're on the radio and all that all the time, right? And then you were nominated for, like, a Much Music Award and all that. Like, give me one of your fondest memories in that time.
Fondest. Okay, this might be a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna just say this real quick. Okay. The first time I heard myself on the radio, I was in jail. I was in the East Detention.
Okay.
And they used to have radios in the cell. And I had a track featuring D. O'Reilly. He was going by the nickname Hoff at the time. And then there was another guy in the track. Okay, quick long story short, I was sleeping on top bunk, laying on my back. And in my sleep, I remember saying Hoffa. And then I said Hoffa like twice. And then I just sat up on the bed like some zombie thing. I just sat up on top of the bed. And I just heard the song playing. We had a song called No Play at the time.
Yeah.
And then it ran on the radio, whatever. Woke up the next day, told my celly, he's my brother from Rhode. I'm like, yo, I'm on the radio, watch. They're like, I lie. Like, watch, you guys are going to hear it. Started running. So, yeah, you know, that inspired me to get myself on the radio. Once I first got my first taste of radio, then I just started going for the radio. I used to make singles and kind of pre-record them, and when they weren't even finished, I'd go down the flow. And then them times it's Farley Flex. And I'd go Farley and I'd sit there and then be like, well, I'd be waiting. They was annoyed at me at flow. They'd be like, this guy's always coming back. He always come. You know what I mean? But I used to go there and sit. Farley would come, listen, I'd say, Farley, this is a song I'm working on. Does it sound like it's heading in the right direction? Can I get radio play off of this? And he would say, yeah or nay. And then I would go fix it up and work on it or whatever. So at that time, back to what you're saying about radio, I was really inspired to make radio music from flow. Because that time they were playing a lot of local artists.
They had it on lock.
And everybody was just like, that's how we knew who was buzzing in the city, because there was no social media or whatever like that. So if you weren't really on flow, you weren't really buzzing. There was a lot of local talent buzzing just off of flow. So that's what pushed me to try to get on the radio a lot. I used to specifically make songs for the radio. No swearing, no nothing for the radio. You know what I mean?
Radio friendly tracks.
Right.
DJ packs, all that stuff.
Yeah. But the crazy thing is, the song that got me the most recognition was not a radio-friendly song. That Represent Your Set. That had no intention of going on the radio.
And it made it on the radio.
There's like 100 swear words in that song. Like the amount of time I say nigga, bitch, because of that fast flow them time. Nigga wanna that. Nigga wanna that. Like, you know what I mean? There's like 100 swear words in that song. But when it came time to pick my single, because we're funding our own video, paying for our own stuff. Them time we're paying like 10, 20 bands for a video. Like, no lie. So it was like, okay, my album was done. It's like time to put up the money. What am I going to put my money on? I got my radio singles, but damn, if the radio don't bite and they don't jump on it, it's useless after that.
It's a
Rap Sheet DVD don't want to post that. Ambushing these guys don't want to post that, like, you know what I mean? Because them times street DVDs are
we're killing it. They were killing
so I said to myself, you know what? I'm from the streets. My strongest point is my streets. My best support is the streets. So when I recorded that song, Represent Your Set, like when I was listening back to my album before I released it, that song just kept grabbing me. I'm like, I love this song. I said, I'm putting my money on this song. I'm going to shoot a video for this. And I just went for that. Went to the studio, did a radio edit, took out the 100 swear words and said, brother, friend, this, that. Just switched up all the, you know what I mean?
Do what you had to do to make it work.
And then I just released that, shot a video for that. And then that video just took off, and that video got me the nomination for the video award and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Sick.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to take a quick second to do a quick shout out to one of our sponsors here. We're good with cameras? Yeah. Okay, so shout out to Six Tech Apparel or Six Tech. Whatever. They got mad electronics in there. You know what I mean? They'll buy, sell electronics as well as they got our apparel in there.
We love hip hop.
So if you want to get your hats and shirts, the first 100 people who get a hat or a shirt from over there will get a free phone case for iPhone or Samsung. Check them out. They're at 322 College Street, and that's College and Spadina, right around there. So
one block west of Spadina or right at West Spadina.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit west of Spadina.
West of Spadina.
Yeah. So check them out online as well at Six Tech, and it's a thing. So let's get back to our interview here with Mr. Donmillion, aka Millie Mafia, in the motherfucking building. Okay, we're talking about those times there and that much music, that flow time when everything was like the buzz was like crazy, right? Now you had a few setbacks that happened around that time, right? Now.
Got caught up in the street drama, you know?
Yeah, like recently,
I talk to these younger cats coming up in the game, and I see the talented ones and the ones that are buzzing and they're doing their thing. And you can ask some of them, when I meet them, I say, fam, I tell them, I say, yo, you're looking good. You're in the right position. You just got to be patient, stay humble. It's coming to you.
Yeah.
But guess what, my G? Move away from the street life. Like, get away from it. Shake it as much as you can. You know what I mean? I kind of understood that when I was going through my thing at the same time. You know what I mean? But I didn't shake it quick enough. And it wasn't that easy for me to shake. Right. Because I came from that environment. And you know what I mean? It wasn't something that... People weren't just gonna let me walk away and turn my back on the life. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, you know,
well,
you're still a guy. You're a guy, or we still consider you a guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I was watching because I was doing our research for the interview here, and I pulled up the Star article and like. Do you mind giving a little bit? Do you mind talking a little bit about what happened?
Ask me what you want to ask me.
Okay, so what happened that day? It was a Caravana night. Shots fired. What happened, man? Because like I was down the road at fucking Young and Gerard rapping with fucking Scandalous in the man's. I'm in a freestyle.
Yeah, where I should have been probably.
You know what I'm saying?
That Caravana was a hot Caravana.
Where I should have been probably.
I didn't even know what was happening. So
where I should have been probably, right? Yeah. So you see, it's like I tell, I say to the young cats, I tell people like me. First of all, I'm not a slow learner. I catch on quickly. I did my pen bit. I learned my lesson. I realized it's for that. I ain't with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Put that aside. But I tell these young cats nowadays, I'm like, you can't just run around with a strap on you every single day and think you're not going to get in trouble. You're going to get yourself in trouble. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And sometimes you just get away with some serious shit, and sometimes you're going to get caught for some dumb shit. You know what I mean? Put it this way, I just got caught up on some dumb shit. And at that time, I was so lost in the life. Like, I used to believe that this whole street life gangster thing was real. Like, I thought it was, you know what I mean? Back then, people thought it was official. Like, yo, you're repping for the block, you're riding for this, you're riding for that, like, on point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We thought it was so real. I was so lost. Like, at the time, now I realize I was lost. Like, I was so like, oh, the streets, we keeping 100. Now the shit has changed so drastically. Like, it's a joke now. Yeah. But at that time, things were still kind of serious at that time. It wasn't like them times. It wasn't really social media stuff where people just talk shit about anybody and there was just no... You weren't getting paid or nothing. It was social media. It's just a hater. Like, there was a time where if you said something about somebody, you might have to, confront that person and back your words and defend what you're saying. You don't just shit talk and throw words around. Yes. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So I was just caught up in the whole street thing at the time. Like, yo, like, what? man, ride for that, man, ride for that, you know what I mean? And then, you know, I just got caught up on some dumb shit, and then I had so much time to sit down and think, reflect, because everything was going so fast, you know what I mean? And there was just a lot of things were happening at the time. So when that incident happened, it just felt like another day of life on road, you know. It was just another incident.
It's another day.
Back to what I was doing. But I spliff.
What we got away with it,
right?
Yeah.
But you know, didn't realize it was a thing. You know what I mean? But then people turned it into a thing. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't think it was that serious, but people thought it was really major. Just to show you where my mind was at that time, I thought it was nothing. Now when I think back, I'm like, what the fuck, dog? Like, come on, like, really? So yeah.
Wow.
And that is what also made me slow down on the music, because then I wasn't able to travel to America no more.
Yeah.
And when I was doing my music, I was going to the States, I was going to Miami, I was going to New York, I was going to Boston. We was back and forth, you know what I mean? So, and most of my peoples can't travel to America. And I was like one of the lucky ones that was still able to go to the States.
That's what we tell people,
you know,
if they
my
can
record
go.
was good at the time, you know what I mean? So I was traveling. So when I came out the bin and I couldn't really travel, that was kind of made me slow down on the situation too. Because I'm just like, yo, I always say to myself, like, if you can't go to the States, that's like doing dancehall music and you can't go to Jamaica. You know what I mean? Like, how could you be a sufficient dancehall artist and say you're a dancehall, but you can't go to Jamaica?
Yeah.
The heart of dancehall. You have to go to Jamaica to solidify yourself as a real dancehall artist for people to accept you and say, kind of, you know?
The same with
so
America.
now, you know, Toronto's popping, they're accepting us now, and we popping around the world in different places, and I'm just happy to see this happen, you know what I mean? Because I remember when I was rapping, people just looking at me like, a rapper from Canada? You think that can happen?
That's a...
Yeah.
That's...
You know what I'm saying?
That was like the...
I remember one of my baby mom's moms says, like, you better go to America with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, back then, people were like, you can't blow from Canada rapping. You know what I mean? You
can't make it in Canada.
And I was like, I always knew you can. You just have to be dope enough and you can. It doesn't matter where you're from. You just got to be dope. You know what I mean? So I was just pushing it because I'm like, yo, it could happen. It could happen. So when I seen Drake do it and now I see Tory doing it, I'm just satisfied. I feel like, yo, at least I was on the team. I played for the team. Maybe I'm not on the team when they won the championship, but I was on that team. And we got close to championships at one point. You know what I'm saying? So that's my team same way. I'm still happy that we got there because I knew it could be done. I knew it could happen and I knew it could be done. I'm just happy to see it happen. I'm just like, finally. You know what I mean? Finally. Because any of the OGs growing up in the city, we know that we waited for this for a while.
Yeah, but you have your spot solidified in Toronto history, music-wise. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have that position.
And that's why I'm somewhat content. So I'm like, you know what? Did that. You know what I mean? Because I kind of got farther than anybody thought I would have gotten. I got farther than I probably thought I would have gotten. Yeah. I remember just watching TV and I always just say, yo, I'm going to have a video on TV one day. Mark my words. I'm going to be on Much Music one day. Watch. I'm going to have a CD in the store one day. Like, you know what I mean? I was just like on it. You know, just, you know, the whole laws of attraction vibe. Not understanding that I was doing that at the time. But that was, you know what I mean? And it just manifested because that's all I wanted. And even people around the hood, they was like, holy fuck, he made that happen. Like, that little badass nigga, that little troublemaking motherfucker. Like, he actually, people were shocked. They're like, huh? Really? Seriously? What? All right. You know what I mean?
Thoughts manifest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even with these times with the social media and everything, like, how did you find, like, adjusting with the whole Instagram?
I'm still trying to adjust, man. I'm still trying to get with it. I'm trying to get with it just so I understand what's going on. I have kids growing up and they have social media and whatnot, and I just want to know what it is, you know? Like, I don't want to have the gap like our parents. Like, if our parents were to go on our Facebook page, they wouldn't know where to go. Right. They wouldn't know what to look at, what to check. I want to just know. So I could just grab in one of my youth on phone and be like, yo, let me see your Snap. Let me see your Insta. Who's in your DMs? Let me see your Facebook. Who you messaging? Who you talking to? What's going on? Like, I'm just trying to stay relevant with it. And the only reason why I do it is because of music. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do it. You know? You could be selling bottled water. People that sell bottled water have a Facebook, they have an Instagram page, and they have these page. You have to do it.
Yeah.
So I know some friends, and they're still OGs in the street, and they're like, nah, dog, I'm not doing it. I'm like, brother, if you're trying to sell something, you have to do it. It's part of your marketing. It's part of your sales. You just have to do it. You don't have to show people every time you sleep, drink, shit, eat, whatever. You don't got to go that far.
Yeah, you can
post
be
your product
yep.
and do your thing. But that's a part of what's happening right now. Try go out there and give someone a card and say, yo, go check out my MySpace and see how far that's going to work. Go try that and see where it's going to get you. Nowhere. You have to go with what's, you know what I mean? You got to roll with it or get left.
One thing I want to ask you as well. I was watching that BET thing. Tell me about that experience, that BET freestyle experience.
So let me try to give you this real quick again. So boom now, wake up now. It's a Friday. Woke up kind of late, late night stuff, insomnia life. Woke up late. Anyway, I look on Instagram, I see this Freestyle Friday thing. Shout out to Turk, shout out to T Grams, right? It's about 6 o'clock in the evening, and they're like, yo, the deadline's tonight, 12 o'clock. I'm like, damn, it's 6 o'clock. I'm like, I ain't got no freestyle. I'm like, okay, I'm going to repost my old freestyle. I repost one of my old freestyles. I tell everybody, tag me and hashtag at BET and hashtag Freestyle Friday for me.
Yeah.
Let me try this thing.
Working at social media.
Yeah, I'm driving on the road. I'm DMing people. Yo, go to my last post. Tag me. All my girls in the car getting bent. She's like, why are you driving and texting? I'm like, yo, just relax. I'm just trying to take my ass to Wagwan. And I'm texting. I'm like, why am I even doing this? Am I wasting my time? What am I doing? You know what I mean? But I'm just like, fuck it. Anyway, I just do it. A couple days later now, this girl that was part of the competition, Maisie F. Shout out to Maisie F. She messages me and she goes, yo, congratulations on the BET thing. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you got selected. I'm like, say word. She's like, yeah, I seen your name on the list, whatever. I'm like, yeah. She screenshots something. She shows it to me in the DM. I'm like, okay, respect. Yeah. I check my email now. I see that BET replied. I'm like, okay, but now. So I don't know how I misread this thing or whatever, but I thought I had to have 3 verses. Because they said something about 3 rounds, but it was really 3 beats to pick from. I mixed them up. I get these 3 verses ready. I thought it was going to be 3 rounds. I'm going to be standing in front of someone's face, battling them. I get there now. Oh, never mind now. It started at 7 a.m. I went to bed 5:30 that morning. Told my girl, said, wake me up at 6:30. I need a 1 hour of sleep. I woke up at 10:15.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, holy smokes, I missed the BE thing. I'm just like, felt like a waist man. I'm like, what kind of waist movements you on there, dog? Yeah, you missed it. I'm like, damn. And then I'm like, yo, I see somebody post something about it, and I'm like, yo, I'm supposed to be there. And then shout out to Turk. Turk a real one, Turk DM me back. Turk's like, yo, we still in line. You might make it.
Yeah, come true.
So I'm like, all right, bap, fly down there now. I reach there now. I got a message now. They're like, oh, you're too late. I'm like, damn. I'm like, fuck it. I'm already here. I'm just going to go and see what's up. I fly up there, They're like, oh, you're late, but all right, fill out these forms.
Yeah.
The forms are like this thick, bro. Like, Jeez. It was pages of, repetitive shit, pages. Filled out the forms, slide through. You know what I mean? But it was just a fluke thing. But I learned something that day. I told myself, no matter when I think it's too late, always push forward.
Yeah.
Because the Friday when I saw the freestyle, I'm like, it's too late. Why bother? I posted it anyway. Woke up late. My shorty's like, just go anyway. I'm like, yo, I'm like 3 hours late. This makes no sense. If it was 10:15, 3-4 hours. Boom. Got there. I got a message. They said it's too late. Like 3 times they said it was too late. And I still slid through. I learned from that day, no matter what, when you think it's too late, if it ain't going to cost you nothing, just go see what's going on.
Yeah,
because you might still get through. You know what I mean? Don't stop.
I'm watching it, and you're going in. You're in the zone. Man did not want
you don't have to move. Because I came for some boom bap,
Yeah.
I came for that boom bap. Like, I came with 3 verses. Like, I had 3 verses. That's why my verse came off like that. What did it say? Listening to these dudes, all it take to bore me. I swear these rappers so fake. Because I came prepared to battle someone. Yeah. So I was gonna talk to someone like, listening to this dude, all it take to bore me. I swear this nigga so fake and corny. But But the beat was so slow. It was just like, damn, I can't spit all I want to say. Yeah. And then when I got there and they were like, oh, it's only 1 verse. I was like, shit. I got 3 verses. I got punches in this one, punches in that one, punches in that one. I wish I would have took the time and just went outside and took all my punches from all three of them and just put them together and make one verse and then there's one in there and then just got a better beat. But the number I picked, I got number 3, so I didn't get to chill in the back long enough to see what color record I wanted to pick and which record had the right beat. You know what I mean? I thought it was the red record, so I went in and I took the red record out and.
There's a color selection based on the record.
Yeah, whatever color you get, that's the beat you're gonna get. There's no name or nothing. It's just a color. You know.
I just seen man's face. He looked like he was under pressure.
yo, it was real pressure though, my nigga. I'm not even lying. It was real pressure. Huh? Oh, Bish? No, but for the artists too, it was real pressure. Like I respect anyone who goes on like national TV doing like a competition.
It was
like even if it's Iron Chef or whatever. Like you know, like you could get caught in this. Like you're out there putting your face out there for the like. I respect people that do that. Yeah, because rappers were in there sweating. Every man was just like, yo, what do you got? Yo, what do you got in
studio? It's a nerve-wracking experience.
Yeah, because it's you don't know. It's like
I'm not even just saying, but I came ready to go at somebody, and I'm not a battle rapper. And to be honest, I just joined this to challenge myself. I'm like, can you come up with enough verses on time? Do you think, you know what I mean? So I did it just to challenge myself. Because even if I won, I can't go to LA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't go there. Half the mans that were in there can't even go to LA. You know what I'm saying? I see the man who were just there just for the experience and just to have fun. You know what I mean? It's just why not? It's BET. It's a platform.
The person who is going to win is going to have to be someone who's able to cross.
Right. But I respect the winner though. Shout out to Stitches. He's gonna represent well. I believe.
He made it to the.
Yeah, he came first. Yeah, they put me as third. They said I came third. I'm like, I lie. Third. Okay. Shit, I woke up late. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just posting it, but I got third, so I work with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a blessing though.
Yeah.
Because then if that means it shows yourself, if you were to actually, like you said, put more effort into it. And you see
what it is too is like, you know. Back in the day in the hood, you seen so many mans pass away and lose their life. And I remember when the first man them started to pass away, we couldn't even find proper pictures of them to make RIP T-shirts and stuff like that. And I was doing my music at the time. I was just getting into it. And that's why I told myself, I said, yo, I'm going to take all the pictures I could take, all the videos I could take. That's why I'm going to do this music. I'm just going to brand my existence as much as I can. So if I could go on BT and leave some footage over there, I'm going to do that. If I could come on We Love Hip Hop and leave some footage over here, I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Because I always say, one of my biggest fears, I always say, I ain't trying to die in these streets and they try to label me some street nigga. That's not me. Nah, I was a musician. I was an artist. You know, growing up in my environment, I succumbed to some unfortunate situations and got caught up in some bullshit. But that's not me. You know what I'm saying? And they just keep trying to paint the picture of certain, you know, people when they pass away as though they were just this and they were just that. Nah, that wasn't me. You know what I mean? I took a couple of bad breaks, but that's not me. I'm an artist. I do music, like fully, like beats, production. You know what I mean? Even like clothing line, like handcrafted shit, like artistry, art form. You know what I mean? I'm into art widely. You know what I mean? Even home renovation and carpentry and drywall and stuff. Art's my thing. I'm an artist. You know what I mean? I'm not just a rapper. I'm an artist. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just here, Brandon again. We Love Hip Hop. I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that
footage. Yeah, this is legendary footage right here.
That like answers my question of like what you have like coming up next, because like you got clothing, you got all different things going on. Artists that you're working with, are you working like with younger artists? Like,
I'm trying to find some artists. I have like 2 artists so far that I'm trying to work with, but it's really hard to find artists these days. Like I book a lot of young rappers and they're like, yeah, I rap. I'm like, okay, let me hear your dopest track, and they're like, I don't really have them songs. I'm like, how are you a rapper? How are you an artist if you don't have no songs?
They're
like, I just go to the studio and I just freestyle. Slap 2 Henny backwards and button 2 backward and just go and the mic can get what, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not into that. I'm looking for real artists that actually craft songs and And then also I'm looking for artists that actually listen, you know? Some of these little cats are too hot-headed, you know? I be out with them in little certain situations and they, you know what I mean? Like they just want to, you know? And they're too and I'm just like, relax for a second, hold on.
Turn up.
And when I talk to you and you don't want to listen to me, it's just like, yo, so that goes back to why I said Millie Mafia music, because I realized like, yo, it's a family thing. It's like the Mafia. Like if you join the thing, you're in it till you die.
Yeah,
Like you're in
yeah.
it for real. Like you're not in it to just ride a wave because the wave look like it's riding, and then you want to hop on to the next wave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no, you're with the thing or you're not with the thing, and that's the problem nowadays. Like people are just too temporary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, I'd rather just rock Dolo right now or rock with 1-2 officials
People
than
who
to
you know
just
are serious.
rock with a whole crowd of questionable people. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It doesn't
true.
make no sense. Been there, done that. You know what I mean?
Facts.
That's the ages. That's just wisdom from getting older and realizing, like you said, been there, done that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I always say I'd rather be the brokest man on road than the richest man in jail. Tell you that right now.
Sick.
Real shit.
Broke.
We don't run no nothing.
I'd rather be the brokest man on road than the richest man in jail. That's the title of this episode right here.
Damn.